Welcome to the news headlines at this hour. Iran has retrieved some data including a portion of cockpit conversation from the Ukrainian jetliner accidentally downed by the Revolutionary Guard forces in January, killing all 176 people on board, an Iranian official said. That's according to a report on the website of Iran's Civil Aviation Organization, which described the official's remark as a part of the final report that Tehran plans to issue on the shoot-down. The development comes months after Jan 8 crash near Tehran. Authorities had initially denied responsibility, only changing course days later after Western nations presented extensive evidence that Iran has shot down the plane. The 10 firefighters who received the call shortly before 6 p.m. about a big fire at the nearby port of Beirut could not know what awaited them. The brigade of 9 men and 1 woman could not know about the stockpiles of ammonium nitrate warehoused since 2013 along a busy motorway in the heart of a densely populated residential area, a danger that had only grown with every passing year. They and nearly all the population of Beirut were simply unaware. They were not privy to the warnings authorities had received again and again and ignored. Ammonium nitrate is highly explosive, used in fertilizer and sometimes in built bombs. The stockpile was degrading. Something must be done. The mother of a man fatally shot by Louisiana police said her son was intelligent, shy, and had sought therapy for social anxiety. Her lawyers said they had plans to sue over the death of Trayford Pellerin, who police said had a knife and was trying to enter a convenience store. The shooting on Friday night was captured on video, and the state ACLU condemned what it described as a horrific and deadly incident of police violence against a black person. Both the ACLU and Southern Poverty Law Center quickly called for an investigation. Pellerin's death prompted a crowd of protesters to gather on Saturday and demonstrate against the latest fatal police shooting. Officers in riot gear fired smoke canisters on Saturday night to get the crowd to disperse. Trooper Derek Senegal said no tear gas was deployed, he added. In June, India began using a cheaper, faster but less accurate test to scale up testing for coronavirus, a strategy that the United States is now considering. These rapid tests boosted India's testing levels nearly 5-fold within 2 months. But government numbers suggest some part of the country might have become over-reliant on faster tests, which can miss infections. Experts warn they safely use them requires frequent retesting, something that isn't always happening. Cases surged faster than labs could scale up testing once India's harsh lockdown was relaxed. So far, authorities have rationed the use of more precise molecular tests that detect the genetic code of the virus. But on June 14, India decided to bolster these with faster tests that screen for antigens or viral proteins. Police forced protesters away from a law enforcement building in Oregon's biggest city early on Sunday as efforts to stop the demonstrators from gathering at the building seemingly fell apart. The protesters apparently had plans on Saturday night to march from a park to the Penumbra Kelly Public Safety Building, news outlets reported. But a standoff between marchers and officers took place on a bridge along the way, and the demonstrators retreated. Protesters appear to have returned to the park and then taken cars to the building. President Donald Trump's older sister, a former federal judge, is heard sharply criticizing her brother in a series of recordings released on Saturday, at one point saying of the president he has no principles. Mary Trump Brady was secretly recorded by her niece Mary Trump, who recently released a book denouncing the president, "Too much and never enough. How my family created the world's most dangerous man." Mary Trump on Saturday said she made the recordings in 2018 and 2019. In one recording, Barry, 83, says she had heard in 2018 interview with her brother on Fox News in which she suggested that she would put her on a border of overseas cases of immigrant children separated from their parents. London's famous Tower Bridge, which crosses the River Thames in the heart of the British capital, was stuck open on Saturday, leaving traffic in chaos and onlookers amazed at the sight. The historic bascule and suspension bridge failed to close after opening to allow ships to pass underneath on the Thames. City of London police tweeted shortly after 8 p.m. that the bridge was closed to pedestrians and traffic and mechanics were working to fix the problem. An hour later, police tweeted that the bridge had reopened. Tower Bridge is 244 meters long and its tower is 65 meters high. It was built between 1886 and 1894. Thousands of Israelis protested outside the Prime Minister's official residence on Saturday as summer-long demonstrations against Benjamin Netanyahu maintained their momentum. The protesters want the embattled Netanyahu to give up his post while he is on trial for corruption charges. The government's mishap is handling the coronavirus crisis after relative success in its early stages has fueled the demonstrations. The protests come ahead of Tuesday's deadline in which the coalition government must agree on a budget plan on triggering new elections that will be forth in just over a year. Ignoring police suggestions for alternative routes, the protesters marched from several parts of Jerusalem through key roads trying to reach Netanyahu's residence on Balfour Street. India's coronavirus caseload topped 3 million on Sunday, with the country leading the world in new infections as the disease marched through impoverished rural areas in the north and the wealthier but older populations of the south. Health authorities reported 69,239 new cases and 912 deaths, bringing the total to 30,44,940. Cases have leveled off in India's two largest cities, with serological surveys showing widespread prevalence among the residents of the capital New Delhi and financial centre Mumbai. New hotspots continue to feed surges in the cases in rural areas of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar states in northern India, and in the southern states of Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. India has the third highest caseload after the United States and Brazil, and its 56,706 fatalities are the fourth highest in the world. Top West African officials met with the Junta leader and Mali's deposed president on Saturday in the capital, trying to negotiate a return to civilian rule after a coup this week. The meditation efforts came a day after thousands of Malians took to the streets of Bamako, the capital, to celebrate the coup that ousted elected President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. The West African regional bloc, known as ECOWAS, had strongly condemned the coup and said the high-level delegation will work to ensure the immediate return to constitutional order. ECOWAS also demanded the reinstatement of Keïta. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has made it to Berlin after all. Navalny, a prominent critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin, has been comatose since falling ill on a flight from Serbia to Moscow on Thursday. Medical staff at the Omsk, Russia hospital he was previously treated had initially refused to allow any transfer to the German capital, claiming he was too unstable to move, but they appeared to relent after international scrutiny. This is Jyoti reporting for Our Voice.